Welcome back, Legion. Here for another Truth Tuesday. In today's discussion, I want to have a chat about what is the best type of training for sports and athletes, mainly field-based sports. Okay, I know there's a plethora of sports and you can really go deep in regards to this discussion, and maybe we will in other episodes, but today I just want to kind of tick off the big ones that the majority of us play here in Australia. So we can go AFL, basketball, rugby, netball. We can include cricket into that. Field hockey, 100%. There's so many more, but that's predominantly what I'm talking about today, our field-based, team-based sports. Okay, so what isn't quote-unquote functional training for these sports, or what isn't the type of training that you want to do for these sports? Okay, I'm going to start off with bodybuilding. Bodybuilding is not the way to train for these sports. Remember, the purpose of bodybuilding is to increase your lean muscle mass as much as possible. And sporadically, or at some points, also decreasing your body fat to get nice and lean. But the majority of the time, it's about putting as much muscle mass on as possible, which at times is important for athletes, field-based sport athletes, but it can be done in a different way, and it can happen in a different way that has better carryover to your sport. If you're a bodybuilder though, there's just some things that you don't need to be, you don't need to run. If you're a bodybuilder, you don't need to run. That's silly. That's going to just chew up your lean mass. That's going to be counterproductive to what you want to achieve as your sport of a bodybuilder. You want to be doing things that a field-based sport athlete definitely doesn't need to be doing, but you need to be doing. The second one is a powerlifter. Powerlifting, again, is not team-based sports, okay? Powerlifting is its own sport of 3 lifts, including Olympic lifting is the same as well, which is 2 lifts. Back squat, deadlift, bench press, clean and jerk, snatch. We obviously use elements of these lifts for our team-based sports athletes, but we don't need to go down the road of going so hard into that area. We're not powerlifters. You're not going to be a powerlifter. The next one is CrossFit and F45. I have not seen too many people get away with being a CrossFit athlete and then being a team sport athlete. In particular, as the competition gets more and more vigorous and at a higher level. Maybe if you're an amateur level, you might get away with it because you obviously enjoy it. You enjoy other elements of those 2 fitness regimes, being CrossFit and F45, which is fine. But as you're getting higher up in the ranks, they are just too intense and take too much away from your team-based sport. Okay. So what is functional? Let's think about functional in the first place. So when I'm talking about functional, it irritates me, this word, a little bit, because functional training is kind of never been properly defined, and it kind of just turns into whatever someone wants to describe. But to me, where else would you use the word function? Think about it, how you use it in daily life, and just convert it back to training. So function to me can be very adaptable to whatever you want to achieve. So all it is to improve the functions of your sport, okay? So, like I said, running is not functional for bodybuilding, even though it's very functional for a team-based sport athlete, like a basketball or football, a rugby player, soccer player. So this is what we need to consider. 100% we use elements of those previously mentioned strength-based sports. We definitely use concepts, okay? But there needs to be a point at which we only go so far with that, all right? So we're not going to try and beat ourselves up too much with bodybuilding and powerlifting specific programs. What we are going to use is certain techniques from those programs, okay? So I really like certain strength regimes that we might use on some main lifts, the squat, the bench, and the deadlift in our program. We might use some bodybuilding techniques at the back end of our program to improve a little bit of hypertrophy in the right areas, so muscle mass growth in the right areas for our field-based sport athletes. But some of the stuff that we're really going to hone in on that's going to have better carryover for our athletes on a field-based sport is going to be single leg work, okay? It's going to be work through different planes of movement, so not just going up and down, but also going side to side, and then even some rotational components as well. And really, majority of the strength and conditioning function from a field-based sport athlete is going to be running, taking onto that sprinting and acceleration, deceleration, change of direction work, jumping and landing mechanics. Like, they are probably your biggest things that you need to improve if you're a field-based sport athlete, because that is the thing that you're doing consistently at different intensities and volumes during your sport. And they are things that we can directly impact in the gym environment. All right, thanks for that, guys. I can definitely talk a lot more about this, and maybe I'll make another video about it to just give you a little bit more insight in regards to my thought process about this. But I think that's a pretty good start. All right, thanks for that, guys. I'll catch you next time.